passion for life.
Hello, and welcome to Passion Supernatural Podcast, the podcast where we discuss what we consider to be the best soap opera ever, Passions. Every weekend on Sunday at 2 p.m., we air exclusively on YouTube, where we discuss everything about the late soap opera Passions. Everything we loved about it, everything we still love about it, from the magic to the actors, the characters, the you name it, everything about it, we talk about it. There's nothing to hold back. Hi there, I'm Joe Velasquez, host of the Passion Supernatural Podcast, and with me
Hi,
is my
everybody.
lovely and adoring co-host, Casey Metcalf. How you doing, girl?
Doing okay.
So
Ready for appointments coming up this week. So I got two coming up. Yeah.
Well, that's
One
all
of
right.
them,
I mean,
I don't really want to go to,
right.
but one of them I want to, so I can fix my problem.
Sure, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
all right. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. That's all part of it. I'm sure they'd say that in harmony. So anyways, folks, now that we're here again for another weekend and all, Casey and I, for a good while, like a good long time, long before we even started this podcast, I really can't even remember when we started this podcast. What was it, last year? I mean,
Yeah.
we've come far and everything, Casey and I, but even before we started this podcast, her and I, because Casey unfortunately never saw the final season of Passions when it moved to DirecTV. She never saw it. So her and I had basically, when we met and I found out that she was a Passions fan, we got together and we started watching the final season that's all on YouTube right now, thanks to that Melissa Morley or whatever her name is or whatever. Thank you out there for posting all the episodes. I mean, whatever the best quality you can do, we owe you one. It's awesome, all thanks to you, that Passions can continue to live on all on YouTube and all that. So we've been watching. Well, you're all not gonna believe this, folks. Something completely happened this past week or something that we did not expect. We actually finished the whole series. We are done. Casey and I have gotten through every single episode of the final season, the 9th and final season, exclusively on DirecTV, of Passion. So yes, so we got a lot to talk about today with whatever time we have and everything. So I mean, I don't want us to just jump right to the end because there's so much to talk about. But where do we start from? Because it goes back a bit or whatever, how much we watched and everything. I mean, we left off with almost either already dead or almost dead from Vincent and Vicky's poisoned mushroom sauce. That's where we left off. And we picked up, well,
Well, at the We Wholesale dinner, Vicky and Vincent was the ones was cooking the sauce for the meat, whatever, like would they have like steak with meatloaf or something and put the sauce on?
It was just a mushroom sauce is what they were making. All the food or whatever, all with the mushroom sauce.
And then everybody would start eating, and then Sheldon knew what's going on because she had a whole Vicky and Vincent talking. So she was going to say something, but she didn't. Because Vincent was forcing her.
We discussed all that portion last weekend. Yeah, all that stuff we passed by. I believe where we left off or whatever, because like I said, everybody was either already or almost dead or whatever. And like we discussed last weekend, it was Esme that actually brought Tabitha down to the church and all that and convinced her to save everybody. And
with her power.
Exactly. And as I had said to Casey several times that something was gonna happen to poor Tabitha, well, I wasn't kidding, because, well, Tabitha's sacrifice is what saved everybody in Harmony. And she She literally did. Actually, I couldn't believe it when I saw it for myself after all these years of seeing her being a witch and doing all these, doing all these terrible things to Harmony. She officially no longer has powers. She's lost all of her powers. I couldn't believe it.
She does not have to live with it, for the rest of her life. And
Yep. And that's all she's ever known is how to be a witch. It's like she told Miguel. It's like that's how she was brought up, was as a witch. And now she's got no powers. But anyways, and so um
she did a good deed, and then she lost who, you know, who the person she was. She was supposed to be a witch, but she lost her powers because she saved people from
exactly.
dying. So
Exactly. And so I mean, of course, Esme or whatever, she really wants to tell people and everything, but Tabitha tells her to shush shush, don't say a word, even though she's not a witch anymore, just shush shush and everything. Um and then um we basically then and there we basically said goodbye to my favorite of the evils of Harmony, Vicky and Vincent. They said their goodbyes. It was their final episode because they were arrested for what they did and everything. God, I loved those two as villains. They were such great villains and everything, and that was their final episode. Um, and amazingly, as it is, well, not amazingly, but yeah, actually, with them being arrested, even Julian, they did not care. I mean, in the past, when Vincent was arrested, even Julian did everything they could to be there for their son, despite how crazy and evil he is. This time, they did not care. They were like, goodbye, so long. He's off his rocker.
yeah,
It's kind of sad, really, when your own parents are actually, and especially after all those years that even Julian, they they thought they thought that their son was dead, and all that stuff, and then they find out that their son was that evil blackmailer and all that stuff. Well, they find him, and look at him now. So yes, Vicky and Vincent were officially gone. No more on
locked up.
them. Yep, their
So
prison sentence. Like I said, if Passions ever does get some kind of a return, I really hope that they find some way to bring them back because they were my favorite evil, more so than Alistair and Juanita. So, um, but anyways, um, and of course they got to bring back Valerie too because Vincent is Valerie. So yeah. But
mm,
anyways, so that took care of them. Um, then there actually was this was actually one of my favorite moments on the show was one of my favorite moments on the show came up in like the next episode um was getting ready for the weddings and all that stuff and all. Well, I mean, just seeing the chemistry between Luis and Miguel, especially with Galen and Blair. I didn't see it so much with Jesse and Galen or Galen and Adrian as he used to go by. Oop, Casey, sweetie, you there?
hang on, someone called me.
Oh, hang on, everybody. She'll be back. I'll continue until she comes back. But it, oh, she'll be back in a minute. But anyways, um, I really, really just always saw this great chemistry between Galen and Blair and everything. Even though I know that Blair is like nothing like Mexican or whatever, I just felt like these two could be brothers, and it was so sweet seeing them together and all that, and talking about how great Luis brought up the Lopez Fitzgerald family and everything, and they got this nice little picture together. I just loved that moment. I just loved Blair in that role, and I know that everybody didn't like him. I know that Blair did not get very many likes for his portrayal of Miguel, but he was my favorite, and he made Miguel my favorite character. So, but all that aside or whatever, I mean, that all went on, and I
And
mean,
then
mhm.
Juanita put a bomb in the troll's basement.
Yep, somehow that henchman guy kind of just disappeared, and it was all on Juanita. All of a sudden, that hench guy kind of just disappeared. But yes,
May-
the bomb in the church. Yep,
Maybe he didn't want to do it no more because
who knows? He did seem very cowardly, but all the same or whatnot. I mean, yeah, there was that bomb in the church that was just ticking as the time went on. And then, wouldn't you know it, once again, people, I also mentioned to Casey that something was that interesting was going to happen for Endora. Well, it did, or whatever. Once again, it's just totally obvious because little Nicole wasn't actually there, and they had to do something, if you know what I mean. It's just so obvious that they think they're fooling somebody, but not easy to fool us. We know what's going on. They basically I guess as they call it I guess as they call it in soap operas, I think they call it sorast or something like that, SOR um ES or something or whatever. I forget what soap opera um rapid um aging syndrome or something like that. I think that's what it is. Soap opera rapid aging syndrome or something. It's where a character basically, a character could be a kid, like a little kid on a show for like so very, very, very long, but then they decide that they're going to age the character, and then the next thing you know, the character starts off as this little kid, and then they're grown up. It's happened a lot of times. It happens on Days. I saw it happen on Days a lot, and everything. With Sierra and all these characters. They all started off as little kids, and then the next thing you know, they're teenagers, and then they're grown up and stuff like that, and yada 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 yada. But but putting all that aside or whatnot, that's kind of what happened to Endora, only it was done, well, unfortunately, with magic, not the way that it usually happens. Usually they actually just change the year that the character was born, and they suddenly make them older and stuff like that or whatever. But with Endora, it was done all by magic, and she couldn't change herself back. Her powers were working, but they just weren't working right. So there we go. We have a teenaged Endora once again. Yeah,
yeah,
which was
and
which was interesting to see her. I liked her. I really did. Churia, I can't remember her name. Shoot, I tried looking for her because I would have loved to have had her on this show and
yeah,
everything. I can't find her anywhere.
when I first seen her on there, she looked familiar to me. I think I seen
Mm,
her in
I forget
shows
her name,
before.
Churia or something. I can't shoot. I can't remember all of a sudden. But
Um,
but she looks a lot like Glinda in my opinion. Blonde hair, wearing pink all over from Wicked a little bit, like a teenage Glinda or something. Um,
or
but
teenage Barbie.
what's that?
A teenage Barbie.
Yeah, yeah, Teenage Barbie, exactly. Well, anyways, she managed to convince Tabitha to go to at least one of the weddings, I believe. I believe they just showed up just for Kay and Miguel's wedding and everything. And yep, Kay and Miguel were the first ones to marry. They actually made it. Kay and Miguel got together, not Miguel and Charity, not Kay and Fox. It was Miguel and Kay, the way that I like it. I mean, I know Kay and Miguel had its lovers, but most people wanted Miguel with Charity. So, but Kay and Miguel had some lovers. They didn't get that much hate. Um,
Yeah,
so
I
that was
like
great.
Miguel and Kate together.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Charity was indeed beautiful, and her and Miguel were indeed romantic, and they were great together. I think Molly Stanton, who was the original Charity, beautiful as ever. Oh my God, so gorgeous and everything, and so talented and all that stuff. But I like Kay and Miguel better. I mean, Kay saw him first, after all. I mean, she's been in
Yep.
love with him since she was a kid and all that, whereas Charity just comes to town. And like I said, I don't despise anything of Charity and Miguel. I thought they were cute while they were together. I just liked it better with Miguel and Kay is all. And so they finally got together, and then wouldn't you know it, Norma and Edna showed up. Um,
Yeah.
and
And they
kind of
gonna get married
they
too.
wanted to get married, yeah, and they forced Tabitha to perform the ceremony.
She's
Well,
not
like,
even a pastor.
yeah, exactly. Because apparently, according to Tabitha, they couldn't get married in the church. I don't know if maybe in Harmony, maybe I don't know if this for sure, but there are some states where gay marriages just aren't allowed or
Okay,
something or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, and maybe that's how it is in Harmony. I don't know. Um, I mean, not to mention Passions really didn't have very many gay characters. I mean, Vincent was gay, but he didn't necessarily have any actual lovers. I mean, making out with Chad and having a crush on Ethan, he never really had an actual lover. And Simone with Ray, I don't remember very much of them before Ray got killed. I really don't remember very much of them. I don't even know what Ray looked like. I really don't. I don't remember very much of them.
She
Uh,
got like brown hair.
mhm,
She's like kind of tall, kind of,
mhm,
I think. I
yeah.
remember back then when I was watching Passions, I remember she was on there.
Sure. I just
Yeah.
understand that on Days of Our Lives, that was the first time. Days of Our Lives was the first soap opera to actually have an openly gay couple. Like you actually would see them kiss each other on most soap operas, whenever you had a gay couple or whatever, they might lean in to kiss, but then it cuts away and everything. It just Days of Our Lives was the first time that, which was Will and Sunny. So who are currently, neither of them are even on the show right now. But anyways, and so Norma and Edna, I mean, like I said, they got married with Tabitha performing the ceremony, which I felt was a bit more like filler or something. Like, I mean, I like the characters. I just felt like them getting married was just kind of a filler or whatever, just kind of fill in those blanks or whatever. Then what happened? Then I believe we got
Um,
Luis and Fancy, I believe, right?
yep, they got married also
Yep, I
too.
know all of you out there hate them. I know I loved them. I love them to bits, more so than Luis and Sheridan. I don't care how many of you out there are Luis and Sheridan fans. I don't care. I liked Luis and Sheridan when they were together, but Fancy was Luis's soulmate. I don't care what any of you say. I've heard a lot of rumors of people saying that they were originally going to put Luis back with Sheridan, but I just don't see how they could do that. I just don't see how they could possibly have that be a thing. Luis and Fancy had come so far, they can't just tear him away all of a sudden and say, I'm going to go back to Sheridan because fans want us together. It just.
No.
Hmm. And Fancy, I just find so much more pretty. I love Mackenzie Westmore. She beautiful. I mean, dang, she
Mm,
beautiful. But Emily Harper is just, oh man, melt my heart. She's like
pretty.
a princess. Oof. Um,
Yep.
yep. And then if I
She's a good
remember,
match.
what's that?
And she was a great match for Luis too.
Absolutely. And then, like I said, they're both cops. So if Passions ever got a continuation, it would be awesome to actually see this married couple actually both on the job as being police officers. They could both be like, you know, just out there, just ready to go. They're a married couple, and they
Mm.
could be protecting themselves and all each other and stuff like that. But yeah, and then if I remember correctly, you know, Ethan really was going completely out of his mind. I mean, oh
And
man,
he,
I thought I was really love struck, but seeing Ethan, he really was going out of his mind. He was even starting to fall for Gertrude.
yeah,
Gertrude.
yeah,
um,
because she remind him of Teresa.
yeah, and then um so that halted him and Gwen's wedding again, so that Noah and Paloma could do it. Well, once again, or whatever, I've said this before, even though Noah and Paloma are my favorite couple on the show, like I said, I really felt like Anya Geelan's Paloma was always just too much of a stick in the mud. She wasn't as, fully romantic and sweet and, well, pardon the pun, passionate as the original Sylvana Aria is. I felt like Sylvana just really was, well, Noah's passion for life. And I liked Anya with what she had, but the writing for her was just, I mean, there's a difference between believing in not seeing the bride before the wedding and all that stuff. Yeah, there is that's one thing. But to actually want to call off your wedding just because you see the bride, I mean, that's going a little far. I mean,
I know.
it's one thing to have those beliefs, but to actually say, I don't want to get married anymore because you saw me, that's just a little bit too extreme. Like, just way, way too extreme. I mean, seriously, lots of people see each other before the wedding. I mean, I mean, think about it. I mean, well, I'll get to that when we get to it. I don't want to spell that quite yet, but yeah, it's just yeah, so
Yeah,
but luckily they did go through with the wedding. My favorite couple got married. Like I said, it would have
good.
been better to have Sylvana there, but Anya was good enough. She got Noah and everything, and so I just love that couple together. Um, so that was three of the couples married. Um,
And then last is Ethan and Gwen,
right.
and who is
However, before that all happens or whatever, evil is really trying to, I guess in a way, bring an end to the world, as Tabitha says that evil was coming and everything, so many earthquakes and everything. And
volcanoes.
wouldn't you know it, I thought it was really cool. We get the demon elf back one last time and everything. Danny Woodburn doing his awesome job. This time, basically, as you all remember, the demon elf. I mean, heck, you all remember when Danny Woodburn was on the show. Danny even said that when he took the part, he didn't want to just be pure evil and everything. He's not into those kinds of characters. He wanted to have a little fun with it, so he added kind of, do like a Michael Jackson thing, or maybe just add something funny in there. Well, now during this part, the fun is over. No more hee hee, no more of that. No more causing mischief. He's there to kill. He literally is there. He is wanting death. And Danny Woodburn, yeah, like Danny Woodburn said, he didn't really get any time to work with little Endora. He worked with the adult Endora, not Nicole or whatever. He was right, like he said on the show. He didn't get to work with her, so he worked with the teenage Endora and got to fighting, and all that. And I guess Tabitha was, I mean, Endora was able to take care of him once and for all, because that was the end of his character and all that. And that was that for the little demon elf. Danny Woodburn did his job. I'm glad we got him on here. uh,
Yeah,
that was awesome getting to meet him after all these years of seeing him in movies and TV and stuff, and now getting him for Passions. Um, but um, 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 but then the next thing you know, even though the demon elf was no longer around, Tabitha and Endora were apparently locked in their own home.
yeah.
And alongside Juanita, danger was brought on. Another danger was brought on, because then, wouldn't you know it, what is it that Endora and Tabitha find out? Hmm. Well, I mean,
Mm,
Juanita is one thing with a bomb, but now we have a flipping volcano erupting, according to them, on
yep.
Mount Harmony. A volcano, people? Whew, they really are trying to give us a dramatic ending.
Yeah. The the tsunamis and the poison and what else? The bomb. Now the volcano.
So much. Yeah. So, but like I said, Tabitha and Endora, they're stuck in their own home, and they didn't know what in the world to do. So, um, so they decide if they can't get
Mhm.
out, maybe they
They
can
use the magic. Yep.
bring help in. So first they start off with Eve and Julian. Boy, Eve thought she was going crazy again.
hmm
Eve thought Eve hadn't been drinking, she hadn't been doing drugs. She really, you know, thought she was going crazy to find out that Julian was Endora's father and that he and Tabitha, you know what? Boy, huh. But they were a little help, but it wasn't enough. And then they accidentally bring in Norma and Edna. I was like, oh man, them again. Those two just are
And
like
then
everywhere.
they keep
And
on
then what's that?
switching Esme back. Remember they keep on switching Esme back from the trolls to their house.
Yeah. Yep. But then I guess going back to the church or whatever, I guess going back to the church, I mean, that's when things started to really develop because I guess Juanita knew the truth that Gertrude was Teresa.
Yep.
Almost shot her but didn't. Um, and everything, and that's when everybody rushed down to the church basement and everything, and they discover
And
that Teresa's
Ethan was supposed to get married to Gwen,
Gwen. That really did,
and
but and unfortunately, yeah, that ceremony actually went through.
it did. But Ethan keep on hearing Teresa's voice.
Yes,
Get Teresa saying, help me, Ethan, I'm in trouble, save me."
I wish we really could hear people like that.
I know.
Yeah, wish that stuff was real. Yeah,
And
like
why
I
need
said.
it?
Go ahead.
And why need to keep on telling Teresa he can't heal you?
Boy, are you wrong about that, woman. Um, then so that's when everybody rushes down to the basement and they see that Teresa's really alive. They finally have Juanita, finally, and I love it that Miguel's the one to grab her. I'm like, great, give him something cool to do. He may not be a cop,
Mhm.
but yeah, have him grab that bitch. so, so I love that they gave it to Miguel to grab her. But uh,
And thank God she's caught and she's where she's
yeah,
supposed to be.
Gwen and Rebecca couldn't call her anymore. But so then they do discover about the bomb, yes. And I tell you,
Ethan,
those people of Harmony, they really got guts. I tell you, none of them willing to leave without their partners and their spouses and all that stuff. I'm like, dang. I mean, I may be all for true love, but I'm a coward. I don't know if I'd be able to stick around, you know? I don't think I'd be able to stick around and, for anybody. I'm just too much of a coward.
and die, get killed herself.
Yeah, everybody was not willing to leave or whatever. I'm like, dang, they got guts. Oh, and oh
I
my
can't,
God, how could I forget? We better go back a little bit, sweetie. We forgot something. Sheridan does actually get a happy ending because Antonio came back. We
come
forgot to
back.
mention
Yep,
that.
yep.
Yes,
Until,
Antonio is back. I mean,
yep, he came back
of course, we all know and everything. The only reason they did that was so that Sheridan would be happy, even though she didn't
to
end up
have
with Louise.
somebody.
Yeah, she'd have somebody and wouldn't be alone and wouldn't be miserable. It's just that's the only reason they brought him back, and I'm glad they did. But still, I mean, it's just totally obvious. So, so yeah, they brought it. So yeah, Antonio is back, and he was been alive this whole time apparently. And what a coincidence! He shows up right for the weddings and everything, and everything. And Sheridan realizes who she belongs with, and that's great. But anyways, now we can go back to under the basement of the church. Yeah, so Ethan has to undo this, disarm this bomb. Uh,
Yeah, he took the pole. He
yeah,
unscrewed the
I would be terrified. I would be terrified or whatever to mess with that thing. I'm like, I'm like, oh man, this is like crazy. How in the world I um
I will take that bomb, throw it in the river.
well, yeah, but how are you going to get out of the church first? It could go off in your hands before you even get to the river. That bomb was big
So,
enough to explode everything.
uh,
But
yeah,
anyways, once that was all taken care of, then the real deal came down of, for Ethan to be with either Teresa or Gwen. That all came down.
and
But
Ethan kept on choosing Glenn, and he
because
kept
he's
on
just that
telling
kind of a man.
Teresa, he's like, I need to be with Glenn. I need to stay with her.
He's just that kind of a man. He lives up to his word and everything. He lives up to his word and all, and even though it makes him unhappy, he's gotta go through with his word. I feel like that's wrong. I feel like you shouldn't do that. I feel when it comes to love and marriage, I feel it's all about what makes you happy. I'm talking. I know that sounds a little bit cruel. I'm not saying that your partner shouldn't be happy too. Absolutely, you do everything you can to make the woman happy. But if you're unhappy in the relationship, you shouldn't stay with them just because you took this oath. And not to mention, I always said that Ethan was basically just rebounding. That's all he was doing. He was just rebounding.
Yep.
He wasn't, I mean, he loved Teresa so much, he could have just stayed single. But because Teresa was gone, he got back with Gwen. I was like, that is so not a good way to do it.
And he
But
can't find someone else. I mean,
yeah,
other than
well,
Glenn.
I don't even think about even if he went to go find somebody else too quickly, that would also be rebounding. You gotta stay
Yeah, too
single
fast.
for a while. If you still have feelings for somebody that you can't be with, you might as well just be single for a while before you. I mean, I've rebounded in my life, and I know that that's not good. But during all that, anyways, Endora and Tabitha, they tried one more attempt, and this time it was Kay and Miguel. Um, which I find really interesting. This is actually the first time that Miguel finds out that Tabitha had given up her powers. So, this is like the first time finding this out. So, they need Kay's powers to save themselves from the volcano, and Miguel finally gives in. He finally
Yep.
lets them do it. I was like, finally, Tabitha's right. Dolwood finally gets it.
He
After he
finally changed his mind.
after all that terrible writing that they gave my favorite character and everything of having him blackmail a freaking witch, which is a very dangerous idea. I mean, he hasn't even considered the danger he'd be in and all that stuff and all that stuff. And he finally just says, "Go right on ahead. Go ahead, Kay. Maybe magic can do some good for a change." I'm like, man, magic could have done good long ago, but so anyways, um, so anyways, I don't exactly know exactly what went on with all that, but it didn't save Tabitha's house, but it got them out. It got Tabitha, Julian, um, Eve, Nora,
He,
and Edna out of the and Fluffy out of the house or whatever and into the church. But oh, and
they
Miguel
have
too,
like
and Miguel
a
too.
huge,
Mhm.
they have like a huge cage for the
Yeah,
cat,
this
Buffy.
huge, this huge animal
Huge
crate or
cage.
whatever you call that thing. Yeah, and
It's a cat's huge.
yeah, and yeah, and Miguel's with them too. But unfortunately, Endora and Kay did not make it at first, so that was really really nerve wracking. But I mean, of course, they did survive. They made it back. They had just been to heaven. Wow, I don't know how that all
Hmm.
happened. And they saw Timmy, poor Josh Ryan Evans.
Yeah.
Um, yep, and Timmy told them the only way to save Harmony. And oh boy, was that a giant! Ooh, oh boy. Um, I'm sure you want to say this, Casey, sweetie. I mean,
And then they think that Tabitha should get baptized to save Harmony,
you
to
can
save
kind of
the
guess what
town.
Tabitha's going to say about that.
She's like, nope, I'm
No
not getting
way, no how,
baptized.
no shirt, no shoes, no service. She ain't going to do that. And everything,
No problem.
but everybody, Miguel, Julian, Eve, they all persuaded her. Even, oh yeah, and then Dora became a little girl again. Welcome back, Nicole. Nicole finally back after God knows how long of little Nicole having time off. She's finally back, finally, and talking through her talk bubble and all that stuff. They
She
managed
was
to.
so cute.
She was, and now she's all grown up. And like I said, the last time I saw her, it was during that Passions reunion out in California, and I don't. We'd have to look that up on YouTube to actually, see that. That's
I
on YouTube.
told, yeah.
Yeah, that's the last time I remember seeing anything of her. But but all the same, they managed to persuade Tabitha to do it. And first, obviously, they zapped in the wrong mortal. They zapped in Esme by accident.
Hmm.
And I think we also forgot to mention, or whatever, we forgot to mention this a while back. Apparently, um, Sam's video camera accidentally recorded Rebecca and Gwen admitting to everything, but Rebecca managed to destroy it, or so she thinks.
Yep.
Yep, and little Ethan managed to repair it, because little Ethan is apparently this genius.
He is very smart for a
He's
little
very
boy.
smart. Yeah, I was actually saying that would actually be kind of cool if they brought Passions for a continuation, have little Ethan become something of, like, I don't know, work in the science industry or something. He could do something really genius material and stuff like that.
Or
I think
with technology or something.
yeah, technology. Have him go to a very, very good school. That would really be something for little Ethan.
Yep.
But especially now that Colton Shires is all grown up and everything, I mean, it would be cool to actually have him, what. Um, but anyways, I mean, and of course Rebecca trying to
Get the camera
fight
away
off
from
a kid.
Ethan.
I'm surprised that Sam didn't arrest her simply for that, for trying to fight a kid. That right there is a right reason right then and there for her to
And
be arrested.
she sexually harassed Sam by
Yeah.
kissing him.
Ugh, who'd want to kiss her? Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of reasons that Rebecca could have easily been arrested, but Sam just lets her off the hook. But anyways, and of course, Teresa finally tells Ethan the truth after all these years. She finally was able to tell him the truth, and that little Ethan is really his son.
Yep.
That was so sweet, finally, after all this time. And he forgives her. And it just really, really, really shows that Gwen really is just evil and everything, because everybody's trying to convince her that if she really loves Ethan, she should just be willing to give him up. But
Yep.
she's refusing. I'm like, this just shows she's evil. And so, all that's going on, and then, oh man, what else? Where to go from here? I mean,
It's funny that
as we know, Juanita was taken off and everything, but um, like I said, they accidentally zapped up Esme by accident, and then they got Father Lonigan up there. But then there comes another problem, because then Father Lonigan refuses to baptize her, Tabitha,
because
and
she's a
everything,
witch.
because he knew all along that she was a witch. Apparently, like I told you this before, Casey, there were other characters that knew. They were just certain people that only we knew. So yeah, so Father Lonigan knew all this time because of Alistair. Apparently, Alistair Crane told him, and but he refused to do it until he found out of Tabitha's sacrifice. Then that actually changed his mind, but then he still wouldn't do it. He wants to hear her confession. Oh man, this story just drags on.
And she has a lot of confession to tell.
Lots of it. Holy cow, lots of it. Yeah, like she said, her first misdeeds were back in BC.
Mm.
Man. But luckily,
She's like
Nora can just fast forward them.
she's like a 400-year-old witch, so she
300,
has a lot.
300-year-olds, 300. Yeah.
300.
That's actually what I was going to say, actually, Casey. As before we go on, I was going to say, That's actually something that I don't really understand, because Tabitha is 300 years old. You would actually think that because she gave up her powers, you would think that that would, I don't know, kind of like take an effect on her age, that on her aging and everything. Maybe like she would, because I don't think anybody has lived to be 300 years old. I mean, 100 is one thing, but I don't think anybody has lived to be 300. So you would think that because she gave, when she lost her powers, I would think that maybe that would cause some sort of residual effect that would make her, I don't know, have a heart attack or something. How in the world is she still alive at 300 years old and not a witch?
Eh, How did she have a baby at her
Well,
age?
no, that was different. She was a witch back then. She was a witch back then, but I'm talking about after she gave
Well,
up her powers. Yeah.
it's like when she's like 100 or 200 years old back then. How is she can have a baby at
Oh,
that age?
well, that's witches. Witches can do that. But now that she gave up her powers, she's practically immortal now. She gave up her powers, and so that means she's kind of immortal. I'm like thinking to myself, if Passions does get a comeback, and let's just say that if Juliet Mills passes away before before then, that would have to give them a reason. Maybe
They can't find another. They
they would
will.
say
ne-
that because she gave up her powers, her residual, there was some residual effect or whatever
They
that caused. Yeah,
they can't find another Tabitha. You
they
know.
can't replace her. Absolutely no. Juliet
No.
Mills is Tabitha. You can't replace her. No.
No.
But but all the same or whatnot. Um, but after a little bit, Lil Ethan was able to fix the video camera, and everybody saw the truth, which was, wow, that was like a really, really large thing. I'm seeing the whole thing. I mean, Gwen and Rebecca really went bang, dang down.
And they acted all scared and
Like I said, their acting should have been enough proof to show that they did something, because they were acting so scared. I mean, actions speak more than words. Just because yeah, seeing that they did something is one thing, but them acting scared, that should have been enough. But
yeah.
anyways, um, um, so Ethan was free to be with Teresa, and he apparently also gave, you know, Teresa custody of Jonathan, and that she's gonna raise Jonathan because Gwen's an unfit mother. And Gwen and Rebecca are arrested. That was really awesome. I loved that.
And the cop was hitting on Gwen.
Well, that was later on, but before that even all happens or whatever, they got to first worry about this volcano. So luckily, luckily, Father Lonigan was able to baptize Tabitha. The volcano stopped, and before you know it, everything is cool and nice and everything. As Tabitha said, there's only good magic now in Harmony. No more demons, no more evil. And even Julian has even agreed that the Cranes will from now on only do good because Alistair is dead, which is a good move. I like that. I knew that Julian was a good guy now. Um, and then what went on from there? Well, basically, they basically realized that Ethan didn't even need an annulment because Gwen had been married all this time and never got a divorce, and she never even knew it. So her marriage to Ethan is null and void. So that was like a real shortcut. so,
Yeah.
so so that took care of that and everything, and then of course, Endora managed to give Father Lonigan his sight back, which was great. Bruce French didn't have to wear those sunglasses or have
Yep.
his eyes up like that or whatever anymore. I don't know what
She hit,
I
she
don't know.
held him
Yeah. I don't
to
know how
see
they I don't
him.
know how those actors do that stuff for blind people. I don't know how they do that. I mean, it's not, I don't think actors can really roll their eyes up like that for that amount of time. I mean, I don't know how that works, but all the same, um, so Father Lonigan got his sight back, hallelujah. And this is actually what I was going to mention here that really makes Paloma a stick in the mud to believe in that, because Kay gave Teresa a wedding dress, and Ethan saw her before the wedding, and they weren't complaining about bad luck. They weren't
Right.
complaining about bad luck. So there, Paloma, there's not always bad luck seeing your partner before the wedding.
I just wish something like that can happen in real life. Like, when am I going to wheel today?
We all wish that, sweetie. We all wish that.
Yeah,
I could have fixed my pants on my wedding day that way, but when I got married. But anyways, so then we find out that both Fancy and Paloma are pregnant. So that's something
yeah.
that they could pick up with if the show ever continues. They could bring in, those newborns, Sheridan and Antonio. They plan to marry and have children. Um, and of course, Kay manages to fix Julian's. Forgot all about that. Kay
Yep.
managed to fix it down there, so that's great. And
So
you're
he can
right.
have,
hmm
so he can have, you know what, again.
exactly. And you were right or whatever. Amazingly, Gwen and Rebecca actually, well, not by much, but they did kind of, in a way redeem themselves. Not, but they didn't do anything, but they said that they were sincere about being good, just so they could have a happy ending. So,
And Gwen was like, "With my happy ending."
exactly. And she gets this random cop or whatever. I don't know how in the world he got there out of nowhere. I mean, it's like, how in the world did he get past all that lava and everything that was left over out there? I mean, I'm sure a lot of Harmony is probably destroyed from what the lava did hit, if you know what I mean. So, but yeah, some cop got on her, and Rebecca ended up with an ass, like literally an ass. Hee haw. Yeah. Um, and yeah, I mean, along with Ethan and Teresa getting married, I've got to admit it. I think that this soap opera got probably the best ending that any soap opera could get, because like I said this to you yesterday when we were watching, Casey, sweetie. I specifically said that most soap operas, when they end, they just have an ending. They just, certain things happen and yada yada yada. This one actually, breaks the fourth wall all the time, say goodbye to their fans, and
And balloons falling
balloons
down from the
falling. Yep,
ceiling.
and then of
I
course it's
love
this
that
whole thing
scene.
with all the makers of the show all there, and you hear Josh Ryan Evans sing and everything. It's just, you don't get a soap opera that gets that kind of an ending that much. But like I said, watching the credits roll and everything, and us seeing all of Harmony like that, it just breaks my heart. For all we know, we may never see that town again and everything. It's such a beautiful
Yeah.
sight of Harmony, and we may never see it again and everything, because I mean, if they are wanting to bring Passions back, which I know they want to, but if they're going to, they better hurry up, because these actors are not getting any younger.
No.
And I know, and I'm sure that Galen and Eric can do it, even though they are doing Days of Our Lives, because Days films about 4 months in advance, so they can still do it. They could do two shows like that, and um, I mean, from what I am to understand, the actress, I forget her name, who plays Kristen on Days of Our Lives, she's also going to do Young and the Restless, just like Billy Flynn, who was on Days of Our Lives, and now he's on Young and the Restless. The actress who plays
Mm.
Kristen, she's going over to Young and the Restless, but she is not under contract, so she's able to do both. She's able to like go do what she's got to do on Young and the Restless, and then come back to Days. I'm sure that Eric and Galen could do that, and like I've said several times, maybe the main characters of Passions, maybe they don't need to be prominent characters. Maybe they could just make guest appearances here and there, and it could be all about the kids. the kids all grown up, and it could be their story. It could be
Yep.
them all grown up and everything, and like, I don't know, having Dora and little Ethan and Maria and Jane and Jonathan and Fancy and Luis's child and Marty and um Noah and Paloma's newborn. It could be all about the kids, and just, that way it saves, if anybody else dies. I mean, because I mean, Ben Masters is dead and Andrea Evans is dead, and who knows how much longer Juliet Mills is going to be with us. So I mean, it would be a much better idea just to have it all about the kids and have the other main characters just make guest appearances, like here and there if they need them. Give them a call, they show up, stuff like that or whatever. Or like, I mean, or Endora could zap them there if they need them, stuff like that and everything. So yeah,
Yeah, they need to bring Passions back
I think we all
somehow.
agree to that, but it's just, I don't know what they're waiting on. They say that they want to.
A
Mackenzie has
contract or
already
something.
Mackenzie has already said that she would want to do it. She just doesn't know how she could do it. She's not in California anymore. I think she's in I think she said that she's what, in Vegas now or something. I forget where she said that she is now. But she's not in California anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey,
I
wouldn't
will
you know it? Oh, go ahead.
I will do it if I was in California.
I would even audition to take over for a character if there was somebody they wanted to bring back and they couldn't get the original. I would audition. I would go in and, yeah. But anyways, you know what? Hey, we are out of time. That's the end of another episode, people. Wow, we made it through that. But like I said, yeah, we have officially finished Passions, Casey and I. But don't
Yep,
worry, you guys.
finally.
Don't worry. We're not going anywhere. We will be back next weekend. We are not done. We just got no more episodes to talk about. We're going to have to find a way to make this continue on and everything. We're going to continue to find more guest appearances, more celebrities from the show. We're still trying to get in touch with people. This show is going to go on. We're not going anywhere, so don't say your goodbyes. We may have finished watching Passions, but you don't have to stop watching us. Yep. But so like I said, if you missed this weekend, that's okay. You can always tune in next weekend. We'll be here Sunday, 2 p.m. Same time, 2 p.m.
Same place.
Eastern. That's Eastern. What's that?
Same place.
Yep, same time, same place, same everything right here. If you want to follow us, please like and subscribe. And if any of you ever want to guest appear on our show, please leave a name and a social media in the comment section down below. One of us will reach out to you. We're here. We're always looking for more Passions fans. And hey, I don't have to worry about spoiling anything for Casey anymore. I can say anything now. So we don't have to worry
Yep.
about it since Casey knows everything that happened. No more spoilers.
Yep.
But anyways, thank you all for watching. This was a great show. Until we meet again, I'm Joe Velasquez.
And Casey Metcalf.
And just remember, you are our passion for life. Take care. All right. God bless everybody. Hallelujah. See you all next weekend. Night, you guys. Thank you.